Hey again, guys. Let's talk hobby. I want to do a little hobby talk. Is this party over? Is the booming sports card market over? Are we about to see a mass exodus of flippers? Are we going to have prices come back down where those of us who are collectors have a second chance to get some of the cards we thought we were priced out of? I have been saying for the last 2 years that I thought the one thing that would derail the sports card hobby prices the fastest is a bad economy. Well, guess what? We're starting to have that bad economy. We have stocks collapsing, crypto collapsing, which, by the way, these are the same kind of investments that a lot of the flippers are in. Crypto, NFTs, your tech stocks, your NASDAQ high flyers like Tesla, Netflix, and these kinds of stocks that have just gotten pummeled. We have inflation through the roof. These flippers, how much are they spending to fill their mom's cars up with gas when they go out? I heard another company today, and man, every day, if you follow the news, every day a major corporation is announcing 10%, 18%, 20% layoffs that are coming. And these have not hit the unemployment numbers yet. And we're already at the lowest labor participation rate in history at like 61%. That means that 39% of the people aren't even looking to get a job, right? So our unemployment numbers, while they've been low, aren't really reflective of total employment when we only have a 61% labor participation rate. Now, it's widely believed that tomorrow the Fed will raise interest rates another 75 basis points. They just raised them 50 basis points. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you have a credit card, your interest rate's going up. You're going to be paying more in interest every month. That means if you have a variable mortgage rate, your rate's going to go up. Mortgage rates have been going up. When you have a variable and your mortgage rates go up on such a high amount of money, you could end up having a $300 or $400 or $500 extra payment every month if you didn't lock it in and you left it variable and now interest rates are rising. See, people buy into that. I've always locked in my interest rate because I want to know what I'm paying, and you never are guaranteed it's going to go down. And if it does go down, you just refinance, but it protects you from it going up. So I have a feeling you're going to see that hitting too. There's never been an investment in the history of the world that has gone straight up. They all go up with pullbacks. Amazon stock didn't go straight up, had rough times. Real estate goes up and down. Crypto has gone up and down over the years. Now, not everything that comes down stays down. These are called corrections. Or just, down times. The term they're using to describe crypto right now is a crypto winter. There was a giant NASDAQ collapse. Many of the younger flippers wouldn't have lived through that. But a lot of, these companies, they were just, their stocks were flying high. They were hiring too many people. They weren't really making money yet, but their stocks were just flying. Like Yahoo was one of them, and then it collapsed. Amazon was one of them, and it collapsed. I think it went to $1. Now, obviously, over the long term, that was a fantastic investment. But you had to wait a while till it turned around. It's like crypto could go down, even more. It could get cut in half from here. But 20 years from now, it might be worth $1,000, or $100,000, or $1 million. Who knows? So anyway, I see card prices start to come down. We all do. And I see these big collectors selling their top cards. I see a lot of them trying to get that top dollar on them. And it makes you wonder why a true collector, like these big collectors, trying to sell these $50 cards or $25,000 cards right now, why you see that so much. They probably think they're going to go down. Because if you have a $50,000 card and you think it's going to 60 or 70 or 100, why would you sell it? Not that long ago, you buy a card, it's up in a month. It might be up in a day, might be up in a week. Same with stocks. Didn't have to be intelligent at all. And I said on live streams and I said on videos, I'm old. I've been through this. I've been through crashes. And the market's not going to stay up here. I can't believe it's still at 30, to be honest with you. It doesn't go up forever. And sports cards don't go up forever either. Now, I think that sports cards had a lot of room to run because they had stayed pretty much the same for like a decade or longer. I remember when I got back into the hobby in 2014, I couldn't believe how cheap sports cards were. Like, they didn't really go up from when I was collecting in the early 2000s, it seemed. And some of them were even cheaper. If you wanted that Sandy Koufax, you knew that you could spend $350 at rookie. Just anytime you wanted, you could get it. And then all of a sudden, boom. And all these cards have gone up. So with the prices going up and everybody jumping in, these people that are going to get burned, it'll be like the 90s again. You remember how many people got burned and they didn't want to get back into the hobby? And I hope it doesn't get to that. And I don't think it will. I don't think it will at all. I think prices are just coming back to earth. But they keep producing more and more cards. And there are so many out there, and it really stretches your money. I mean, you got the top 70s, and now whatever the new one's called. Now they're making college cards. They already make too many products, in my opinion. And then you want to compete for the older cards. But what's an interesting analogy, I was talking to George Diamond Yard Sports Cards earlier today, and I used this analogy, is that in the stock market, right, where does everybody want to be? Where does everybody want to be in bad times? Most people want to be in your blue chip, good companies with earnings, pay a dividend, right? Your Johnson & Johnson's, your Clorox, the top companies, right? The Dow 30 stocks for the most part, the biggest companies. Because what happens first is the small companies, the Russell Index, that generally goes down first. And then on an upswing, those are generally the stocks that come up the last. So in a downswing, they go down first. Your Nasdaqs get clobbered because most of those stocks don't even have earnings. It's just like, in some cases, similar to playing the stock, similar to going to Vegas, really. And your last stocks to get hit are the top stocks, your Apples of the world. And we've seen recently that those are now getting hit. But there's still, most of those blue chippers, they don't get hit as hard as all of the other ones. And so I think it's an interesting comparison with sports cards in that what's going to go down last, right? It's going to be the Babe Ruths, the Ty Cobbs, the Mickey Mantles. The quality stuff is going to be the safest. It's going to go down the least because there's always going to be a market for that, And I talk a lot about rarity and a card's rare. Well, let me tell you something. I will be the first to tell you that just because a card's rare doesn't mean it's going to hold its value. If you take like the Michael Jordan rookie card. Now, how many people want that card? Probably just about every collector would want that card. So there is a high demand for it. And despite the fact that there's a million of them out there and they're still opening brand new boxes of them, that's one of those types of cards. It's always going to have some value because every collector wants it in their collection, right? And we have all these rookie cards now. They're numbered. You got auto patches, you know, a little piece of a person's jersey from their rookie season. Maybe they didn't even use it in a game. They you know, the NFL, they hold up the jersey, then they cut it up and put it in their rookie card. And there's 1,200 of them for every player. You know, those are the kinds of things that are probably going to get hit when it comes to price. I mean, because there's no, you know, it's not a special memorabilia item. You know, the guy didn't even play in it. And look how many are out there. And yeah, that particular one might be numbered to 10, but so what? There's 300 other ones numbered to 10, or 3,000 other ones numbered to 10. And so, you know, I think it's those top cards that everybody wants. That's the safest place to be. Now, for us collectors, for somebody like me, I've been waiting for this moment. I have been waiting for this moment in the stock market. I have been waiting for this moment in crypto. I have been waiting for this moment in cards, because this is when smart people buy. They don't buy at the top. They don't overpay for absolutely everything and think that things are going up forever, because at no time in the history of the world have things gone up forever. And so I'm starting to get excited again, because I'm sure many of you are like me, where you were totally priced out of the hobby. You were totally priced out of the hobby on a lot of cards. You assumed that anytime you wanted to spend the money, you could grab them. They're out there. And now, you know, they went from 300 to 3,000 or 10,000. You know, there was I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but my favorite card of his is always the Topps Chrome, like that. And I never got one. You could always get one. Just took it for granted. I remember at one time I was going to pull the trigger on one. It was they wanted 200, and they were going routinely for around 190, 200. And I didn't. I think I bid on one and got outbid, and I just never went back to it. I turn around, it's worth $4,000. You know, this is how high things have gotten. But I'm going to tell you, when you're paying $120 to fill up your truck, and that's in low gas states. I mean, it cost me over $71 to fill up my car. I rarely use it because I work from home. I go to the gym and back. I was in culture. That was the highest I had ever paid for a tank of gas. And I live in the city that is always in the top lowest gas in the whole country. What if you're in California? I don't know. I don't know how you do it with the taxes and the gas prices and what you pay for everything just to live, to have extra money to buy sports cards. I mean, the government ain't sending no more checks. I mean, that's part of the reason we're in this bind to begin with. And I'm excited. I'm excited that I think there's a real possibility cards are going to come down even further. And, you know, I hope nobody, I don't wish anything bad to anybody that invested and needs to sell those, right? I don't. But as a collector, I mean, I'm kind of happy for myself. But I think this is what you're going to see. Credit card interest rates going up. If you were one of those people that you were buying cards on a credit card and flipping them, and now you can't flip them for a profit, and that money that you borrowed, you're now paying more every month in interest. And you're paying more for gas and everything else on the planet. And now maybe you're going to get laid off with these mass layoffs. Who knows? I don't think the first thing you're going to run out and buy when your baby needs food, or you need to pay the rent, or you have a high credit card bill, or you need gas to go to work. I think... you know, I think one of the last things you're going to be looking to do is to buy baseball cards, expensive baseball cards, or rookie cards where there's 3,000 of them. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But that's interesting times. I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Where's the hobby going? Do you think I'm right? Do you think the place to be is still in those, you know, the big popular cards? I think those will hold the value the best. And are you excited about this? Do you want to see the hobby? Do you want to see prices go down a little bit? So maybe you could pick up some of those cards you've been wanting to pick up? Or do you just want the card market to rise forever? You know, the art market has gone up and down. The coin market has gone up and down. I'm sure, I don't follow comics, but I'm sure that's gone up and down here and there. You know, nothing goes up in a straight line. And I am excited about the opportunity, the possibility of being able to pick up some of my dream cards again that might be a reasonable price. I'm curious to see what's going to be happening at the National, because I've noticed a lot more like eBay sellers accepting offers. I notice a lot more people discounting their cards. I notice a lot, you know, back in 2014, 15, 16, I would watch cards and they would be on there literally for 2-3 years and nobody was making offers. And then it got to the point where I would watch them and within a month it was gone. You know, none of them stayed on for any length of time. And now I'm back to the point where, you know, they're relisted. A lot of the cards I'm watching are still there. People aren't buying them. And they're like, you know, phenomenal cards for $1,000. I'm not talking $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 cards. I'm talking $700, $800, $1,000 cards, but worth every penny. These cards are worth every penny, and they're sitting there. Where, you know, last year people would be gobbling these up. So I just have this on my mind. You know, I love to follow the stock market. I love to invest in stocks, and there are times like what's going on now where, you know, sometimes you just want to cry. And if you invest in anything, sometimes that's the case. I remember during the housing collapse, you know, if you were looking at your house price, a lot of people wanted to cry. It happens. But what happened? I mean, that came right back. You know, the COVID collapse, stock market came right back. One of the best years I ever had was after 2008. I was like a kid in a candy store. I couldn't wait to buy stocks. Everybody was selling at 6,500 when the Dow was at 6,500. I was like, this is when you should be buying. You know, these are, at the end of the day, you're buying companies. And you and I, we're still going to be drinking Coca-Cola. And, well, in my case, maybe some Jack Daniels. You're still going to be buying clothes to get to work or go to work or whatever. Probably still going to the gym. Still got to drive some places. Still got to eat. Still got to pay for your electric bill. Whatever it is, you know, we have necessities. You're not going to be canceling your cable and all your streaming services. You're going to have something, right? We are going to have something, and we all have our vices. And for a lot of us collectors, cards are our vice. This is what we do. You know, if I'm losing money in the stock market, I'm depressed about it, I turn to cards. That's our hobby. That's how we get away from real life. You want to turn off politics? Hey, come up into my card room. Let's look at some cards. You know, times are bad. This is what we turn to. And we all have our vices, you know. It's like you go out to Vegas, I don't care how bad the economy is, you're going to see people at the tables. So I hope this didn't come across as doom and gloom, but it's just kind of the reality of it. And, you know, I'm seeing, what's interesting is even as much as prices have started to come down, they're still nowhere near where they were. They're still way elevated from where they were. And that's why I think they have some more room to come back down. I think before 2020, they were underpriced. I think most cards were way underpriced. And then they went way overpriced. And now they're going to come back to reality a little bit before moving up again. And honestly, a healthy market, they will move up slowly over time. They won't go up $1,000 a month every month for a year. That's just it's not sustainable. It's not normal. And it should really, when that's happening, I mean, if you're an entrepreneurial person, yeah, maybe you jump in there and take advantage of that. But you honestly can't expect that to continue. It's like the guy that robs 4 banks and gets away with it, but the 5th one, he goes to jail.